Welcome to today's blog. My name is Rachel and I am very grateful that you're here. Today's video is all about once a month grocery shopping. Okay, one fact though, unrefutable fact, you can confirm that by yourself. If you do a planned once a month shopping, or twice, you can make it twice and then make it planned, or even weekly and you make it planned, you end up saving a lot of money. Save a lot of money when it comes to impulse buying. Storage, how are you going to store whatever you bought? Umebuy unga kama hii, are you just going to put it on the counter, on the shelf like this, and maybe there is a whole lot of moisture happening here and expect to use that flour 3 weeks from now? It will have some animals inside. How you store your products is very, very important. You can get Ziploc bags. Okay, you ziplock your stuff inside there. You can get tins like this. Mine are recycled because this it even has a sticker. So what I do is, after the unga is done, then I can use this. So I pour my flours in such tins. Just make sure that it has a tight lid. Okay, a tight lid is a plus. The expiry here says it's May 2021, but the fact is, if you store this unga vibaya, haitafikisha hiyo time, so you will end up either kuitumikiwa vibaya, of which I know you will dump it. So don't do that. Get a tin that you can pour in your flour. Pour your flour and then put a lid. Put a lid on your flour and you're safe to keep your flour that way mpaka 2021 May. The only other concern will be how you will be scooping it. So don't use wet stuff to scoop your flour. If you want to be fancy enough, you can buy such glass jars, but mine I don't buy. This is from Kentucky, so I buy the coconut oil. This is cooking oil. I cook with it. I use it for my face. This is what I apply on my face. And when the jar is like the mafuta is over, then I can clean it. And now I will put my sugar there. So when the sugar is there, you are assured of one thing: there's no wastage in terms of umeweka na pepper, then ime drift kidogo, imemwagika and stuff like that, ama even possible contamination where something could just get into your sugar and contaminate it. So the next thing, when it comes to the jars, I want to talk about and their role in preventing wastage is the point where you should label your jars. And I'm telling you to do what I have not done, because I know this is white sugar, the other one was brown sugar, and usually I'm the only person who does cooking in my kitchen. Okay, so every other person going to fix something, they will always reach for my help. Is it necessary? Yes. Will I do it in the future? At the moment, those shillings for buying the stickers and all that can just be used on something else. So label this, because this is how practically you can reduce wastage. Have you ever heard of someone ampika ugali na unga ya chapati? You just drop the flour and then you realize, wait, this is not how corn meal is supposed to be. Like, the consistency, something must have happened, only to check and see you use the wrong flour. So that will mean, of course, that can't be chapati, so, or maybe it can be, but at the end of the day, most people will just trash that, and that is wastage. You most probably seen videos of how fancy it is to go grocery shopping and doing the prep where people wash the fruits and store them. If you want your fruits to stay for long, don't wash them when you don't want to consume them. So just wash them when you want to eat them. So when you have your fruits, store them like this, or you can transfer to some other storage containers, but don't wash them. This is about your baked cookies and stuff like that. When you realize that your cookies have become so hard to an extent they can even break your teeth, and that is something you don't want, put a piece of bread inside the cookie jar. Okay, just a slice will be okay, and your cookies will stay soft. Talking about sad looking vegetables, we are still talking about sad looking fruits, bananas, berries, grapes, and stuff like that. Don't throw them away. If they are sad and mushy, like you don't feel like eating them, make smoothies out of them and you will utilize everything that you bought instead of dumping them. So let's talk about those vegetables you buy. They are looking so fresh, and then with time you've not cooked them and they start looking so sad. You're talking about cabbages, you're talking about spinach, you're talking about carrots, beetroots, all that. So what do you do with them? Don't dump them. When they are like that, they become sad. Fixing the ordinary meal that you fix with them could be a problem. So make soups with them, make casseroles, yeah, and you will use everything that you have instead of going into a waste. Store them separately. So in your fruit storage bit, just don't mix avocados with any other thing, with bananas, with all that. Just store them separately. They will last longer and they will stay in the best condition ever that way. Strive to use what is likely to go bad first. So if you have like this fried tilapia, for example, in your fridge or your freezer, most likely it will go bad before this tuna goes bad. This is a point about lettuce. It's not about this napa cabbage, but I want just to use it for just to make the point. Lettuce, don't slice it with a knife like this. Just pluck it from the top. Assuming this is our lettuce, pluck it from the top. What you realize is when you slice your lettuce with a knife, wherever the knife went through, you will have some discoloration with time, and that is where it will start going bad from. So use your hands and pluck the lettuce leaves. If by any chance your banana ripens and you want them to stay for long, if you keep them separately, they will most likely won't go bad as quickly as if you store them in a bunch. So if they are ripening way too fast than you expected, than you're eating them, then the advisable way is to pluck each one of them from the top and then you store them this way. This will also save them, especially if you have kids and they pluck them from here and maybe the other bananas are dropping. That could cause a lot of wastage to the bananas. Another very good way of stopping food wastage is to consume your leftovers as soon as you can. So don't have leftovers then run for a week, 2 weeks and stuff like that. If you can do it like the following day, really you don't need to keep leftovers for that long. So if you keep leftovers for that long, the food in most cases will lose its good taste and you're likely to throw it away, and that will be wastage of food. For whatever reason you want to store your fresh produce, this is lettuce, spinach, cabbage and stuff like that, in your fridge, of which in Kenya, really in Nairobi, you have no that excuse unless you make the excuse of like you're busy and stuff like that. But if you really want to do that for whatever reason, don't store your spinach in this kind of a bag. Just buy them and go dump them in your fridge. What you do, you need to use your paper towels and then put in your whatever fridge storage bit, and then store your vegetables like this. Canned produce, anything that is in a can. How to stop wastage? So in most cases, cans are known to have produce that can last for long, but this is what happens because we already know that we are likely to build our pantries with these, which are very safe for the pantries. But it's not a surprise to just go to your pantry one day and find a can that expired 5 years ago. Why? Because of not doing this. So this is what you do to prevent that wastage. To prevent that from happening, this is what you do every time you shop. This is my shopping for today, for November 2020. Put it like this. This is the milk, assuming this is my pantry. This is tuna and this is coconut milk. So November is over, December is here. Thankfully, I go back to shop. If you buy the same things again and for some reason you didn't consume all this, or maybe it's your emergency food prep you're doing, when you buy the same products, don't put them like this. Don't do this mistake. Don't do this mistake. Do what the stores do. The stores usually use the would I say a strategy? Yeah, strategy, like usually they say FIFO, fast in, fast out. So if this tin was the first, it should be consumed fast. So another thing that you buy after this tin should come behind it here. So all this should come. So when you buy everything, push your pantry supply in front and make sure the new item goes back to be used on a later date, because that means this is nearing expiry. This is yet to near anywhere close to the expiry. So don't waste your canned good in the name of canned goods can stay for long. Then you end up eating expired stuff just because you've been eating stuff that you could be keeping for the long expiry. A general point that should apply to like everything is the initial plan. You need to, as much as you budgeting for your food, you need to plan on your meals and know what you really consume and what you don't, because it doesn't make any sense for you to buy something that you don't like, because eventually it is going to like get wasted and get thrown away. So plan your meals, buy what you need and what you know it is going to be used. And for like fruits and vegetables, if you're lucky to live in a place like Kenya, you really don't have to pack everything at once in your house, because there is all that is accessible when you need it. So that is it for today's video. I hope that you make better choices if you want to do once a month grocery shopping, because it has a lot of advantages. But if you don't consider solutions for the disadvantage of food wastage, then it will not make sense for you. But if you take care of what we have talked about, it will be really a very good experience. So I'll see you in the next video. Please subscribe if you haven't, and thank you so much. Bye.